Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel SF with AK. This is Aman Kumar and I'm a 15 times certified Salesforce expert. Today we are going to talk about Spring 25 updates. You must know that Spring 25 is now live and we can use all the new features in production. Let's discuss these features one by one. Now we have a new user experience to create the new automations. It's more streamlined and we have more functionalities like a search. We can search the type of automation that we want to create. Let's see it in action. Okay, I am in the home page of the automation app and let's go to the new button and click on new. And the UI that you are seeing, it's brand new. And we now have a search option where we can type the type of automation and search for it, or we can use the frequently used and directly select that type of automations, or we can just go to the view all. And from here, we can uncheck or check the checkboxes to find the right automation that we want to create. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now flow version control. I like it very much. Like
This feature allows us to control the version of a flow from within the flow builder. So before we need to go back to the flow and find the version, but now from this update, we can directly open the previous versions from within the flow builder. Let's see it in action. Okay, let's say I open a particular flow. So we can find the different version from here. But when you open the flow, and let's say we are working on the flow, now we need to go back to the previous version or a newer version. Now we can do that from the drop down here. So it allows us to open the flow within a new tab and we can compare the versions within the same from the flow builder without leaving the tab. Let's move on to the next one. Responsive screens. It's a beta feature that is there. It allows us to trigger the auto launch flows from a screen without user intervention. So before this update, the only way to trigger the screen actions was get action button or action button component that I discussed in my previous videos as well. I will put the link in the description. Okay, so now we don't need that action component. Now we can directly trigger the values as soon as the input values of that particular flow or launch flow changes. So it will fetch the latest data without user clicking on any button. Let's see this in action. So let's open any flow. Let's see, open this flow. So in this flow, I am using a get record component, which I'm getting some values, and I'm displaying the values on the first screen. Let's see. Let's run it. Okay. Now we have a lookup component here, and we have data table here. So let's select any record, and as you can see, the values change automatically without any user intervention or the action button. Now, if I delete this, it will change again. Now, let's say I want to update it again. As you can see, the value changed. Now, this was not possible before, but with the action screen, it's possible. So we can go to the screen, and on the screen itself, we have a screen action where we can add the auto launch flow and it will run with the input values from that screen. So you don't have to click the next button or the get action button to get the latest values. Now let's move to the next feature, real-time component validation. So this feature, allows us to give the user feedback immediately without clicking on any button. So this is also kind of part of responsiveness of the screens. So let's see it in action. So let's debug it again. Run. So I have a text field here which says describe the issue. Now let's start typing in this. As soon as I started typing, you can see the error at the bottom. Description should contain more than 20 characters. Now, as I have not typed 20 characters, it's showing me the error. Let's type some more. As soon as I reach 20, the error is gone. So it does not, it's very easy to use and it's user friendly. The user does not have to click on the next button to validate the entered field values. So before this, they would have to click on the next button and then the validation will start. And if something is wrong, they will return to the same screen. But now that's not the case. Now let's move to the next one. Enhanced error management. So this is an enhancement to the error management pane that we had. So let's create a decision element just for the error. So because we can throw an error. Decision one from one, and let's say leave it blank. As you see, there is an error, but let's see. The error pane opened, and it's showing us that we have an error on decision one element, and the error is condition does not support null value equal. Remove the condition or enter resource. As we have left this blank, it's showing the error. So that's a new UI feature. Let's move to the next one, keyboard shortcuts. So now we have keyboard shortcuts for undo and redo functionality and save as well. Now this will improve the productivity and efficiency. Now let's say we want to remove this decision again, as we have made the it in just for demo. Now let's click Control G and it's gone. Now let's say we deleted something by mistake and we want to bring it back. Just click Control or Command Y and it will be back, just like normal shortcuts. We don't need this. Let's Control G and it's gone. Let's move to the next one. Optimized record retrievals. So now we have the control over number of records that we want to retrieve. So this was possible in Apex, but now we have the same feature in Close as well. Now, when we use a get record element, we can pass the number of records that we want to retrieve. Now, before this, we only had two options, only the first record or all the records. Now we can select the number of records that we want to retrieve to use that. This was possible in Apex before with the limit feature that we had. Now it's possible in Flow as well. Let's move to the next one. Transform element capabilities. Okay, so now we have some improvements in the transform element. Now we can join some collections and bring out a single collection from two different collections. So it's kind of appending columns to a particular record or a row. Now it will be pretty useful when we will be using the callouts and getting the data from third party and need to update the records in Salesforce with the data. Now we will have two collections, one from where we get the data from Salesforce and another from third party source. Now we want to merge these, so we will need to use loops or maps to check the data or match the IDs. In Apex, we will use maps, but in Salesforce Close, it will be a transform element. Just for the demo, I am using the get account record and I'm getting accounts from here. And I'm just for the demo, I'm using a loop element. We don't need it in real life. And I'm building a collection here. So now I will have two collections, one from the get record, one from the loop. Now let's see the transform element. So as you can see, I have two collections here, get accounts collection and customer ACC list collection. In this collection, I have ID and opportunity name or just name. And in this one, I have all the fields of the accounts. Now I merge these into one particular collection. And let's see the collection, how it works. So on its left source and its right source. And we only have one type of collection join right now, inner join. So it will only work if both the collections have the same key. Now for keys, we can use the ID or some other field, external ID as well. So for the Salesforce, it's ID, but in third party, it might be something else. So we might be using external IDs for that. So we can use that. Now we can select fields from both the collections that we want to use. So I've selected 4 fields and we'll give option for all the fields. Or if I want to select, I can select all the fields as well. But let's not do that. And now this is join field mapping. It will be the output. So how do we want to update the fields or which values will be going to which field? So I mapped ID with ID and opportunity name with account name. So we are replacing this name with this name. Now let's see it in action, how it works. So before the transform, as you can see, I'm using a repeater element. And in this one, I'm displaying the two account record that I queried, Dash and Aman Kumar. Now let's move, click on the next and let the transform work. as you can see, the transform worked and replaced the names with test and 1 and test and 2. So this is because in the second collection, I was using test and the number for the opportunity name. That's why it's just displayed test and 1, test and 2. So that's how you can update the records without using loops. Let's move to the next one. Enhanced email functionality. So now we can send emails with attachments from Flow directly. We don't need Apex for that. So this was possible before with the email alerts or email templates, but now we can do that from Flow itself. Let's see. Let's close this one. And this is a send email action component or element. Now in this one, we have attachment ID. So in this attachment ID, I can pass a list of comma separated list of content version ID or content document ID. It will accept both. It doesn't matter which ID we are passing. It will attach that file and it will send the email. Now let's move to the next one. So that is all with the flows. Now I have some important feature with permissions. So object field visibility. So when we assign a permission set, we needed to select each field one by one. But just like view all access, if you want to give a particular user view all fields access. So it's now possible with this particular feature. Let's see. Let's go to setup, permission sets. Let's open any permission set that's custom. Okay, let's see this one. Object settings, accounts. So you can see view all fields. So before we need to select each field separately. But now if you want to give access to all the fields, it will give all the view of access for all the fields. And that's pretty easy to use and it's useful very. Let's see the next one. Permission set management. So we can now manage the permission sets that are part of a permission set group, or we want to remove that permission set from a particular permission set group. We can do that directly from the permission set itself. Before we needed to go to the permission set group and then remove or add the permission set into that. But now let's see in the view summary, we will have that option. We can see related to permission set group. Now we can add here. I don't have any permission set group in my org. That's why it's not showing me, but we can add that from here. Or if it's already a part of some permission set group, we can remove that. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching. And if for any questions, please feel free to comment and I will be responding that as soon as I possible. Thank you guys.